When Rentarou introduced Shizuka to Hakari and Karane, he was sweating buckets, right? He was nervous, and rightfully so, because he is, asking permission from Hakari and Karane to allow Shizuka to enter into their relationship, right? And it's already wild enough that Hakari and Karane went with the role to, accept this whole two-timing situation, right? But thankfully, of course, Karane's reaction was wild. Hakari went along with it, and so Karane just went along with it as well. Then everyone went along with it, and everyone was happy, fine, and this ball just keeps on rolling until it eventually becomes, yep, I knew that would happen eventually, right? It has this sort of situation, right, of when Rentarou asks permission, right, to the Rentarou family to and whether or not to accept this new girlfriend, or if you're asking permission to if he could allow this particular girlfriend to be my girlfriend, right? Or be his girlfriend rather. He's always having that expression of, sweating, right? Sweating buckets and such. And so that very, scenario, right, made me thinking, tell me, Rindo, about the beauty of that very expression that Rentarou has, right? Whenever he's sweating buckets, each and every time that he introduces someone into the Rentarou family, he is nervous. And again, because he's worried that Hakari, Karane, the other members of the Rentarou family wouldn't accept this person, into the family, right? And it wouldn't work out. But thankfully, each and every time it did work out, right? And so that essence, right, or that attitude that Rentarou displayed rather, is something that I find there is really something majestic to it, right? And so let's dive into that in today's Tell Me Rindo, shall we? About the beauty of sweaty Rentarou. I'm still trying to figure out a proper term for that expression. Nervous Rentarou, sweating Rentarou, I don't know, but I'm just gonna roll with whatever sounds okay, right, in whatever context, right? So, to start off, right, the origin of this entire expression is exactly from the scenario that I've described earlier, right? When Shizuka was introduced to Hakari and Karane, right? And this same thing, or the same instance was observed when Nano was introduced to Hakari, Karane, and Shizuka, when Kusuri was introduced to Hakari, Karane, Shizuka, and Nano, right? And so on and so forth. And from the manga, we get to see that expression happen in the end of chapter 3, and in the anime we get to see that expression happen in the end of episode 3, right? I love how it checks out. Now, the design of Rentarou, right, in this particular expression is pretty basic. Its main components compose of his seemingly, I don't want to say poker face, but nervous face, for lack of a better term, right? But of course, this is accompanied by the hint of nervousness from, as we see from the sweat drops that he has on his face. And I feel like as well, or I know rather, that each and every time he introduces a new girlfriend into the family, and even especially more when there are more and more new members of the family joining in, right? The amount of sweat drops that he has on his face I noticed that they would really increase as well, right? And I really love that detail. And each and every time as well, the expression of Rentarou, right? Facial expression, by just in the sense of just eyes and mouth only, are pretty much the same, right? I've noticed that, and characteristics really show on how nervous he is. The hand gesture that he has, right, when he does this, like, would you guys please mind accepting this girlfriend as my newest girlfriend, right? That sort of whole ordeal. He makes it really a very formal and very mature, serious and sincere form of introducing this girl into the family, right? Or introducing this girl to the other girlfriends, right? Now, the analysis, or my analysis, or interpretation at least, of this entire thing as to why especially I wanted to make this video is because what I find so beautiful about it is that, again, there's a huge amount of sincerity, genuine sincerity that Rentarou shows each and every time that he asks permission, right? I feel like Rentarou really is, he really does, family, he really does give it his all and shows how much he really appreciates and loves each and every one of his girlfriends, right? Now, Rentarou, of course, this family, is sort of a polyamorous relationship, right? There's a lot of individuals, right? A lot of girlfriends involved, multiple people, and as a protagonist, or rather as a boyfriend, right? He demonstrates sincerity to the utmost level, right? Pure genuineness that is really top tier, right, off the charts, by seeking the approval of his existing partners, right, before introducing someone new, right? He really does have to ask permission, right? And so there would also be that lying concern that in his mind, what if the other girlfriends are like, wouldn't accept the new girl, right? What if, they find her, not worthy, so to speak, right? Right? I mean, we get to see the Rentarou family being the way that they are. Of course, at the end of the day, we know in our hearts that they are still going to accept the new girl, right? But the fact that Rentarou wholeheartedly still has to ask them permission if it's okay if he dates this girlfriend, right, or this girl, even if the family would already, even if he knows rather that the family would already accept her, either way he still has to ask them properly, right? He still has to make a formal statement to ask permission if he could date this girl, right? Because he is really that considerate of a person, right? It was even mentioned during Shizuka and Nano's introduction, as well as during Karene's proposal, right? Or when Rentarou proposed to Karene, right? I just mentioned, and I paraphrase this, right? If anyone is dissatisfied with the way things are, then they should communicate it about it to him, right? So that he can resolve and do something about it should any problems arise, right? They should communicate about this in a very heart-to-heart and very open manner, right? But thankfully enough, everyone in the Rentarou family, the girlfriends, also genuinely want to be with one another, right? Each and every one of them want to be with each other because they find that they are so happy when they are together. They are happy with the way things are, and in that sort of similar essence, right, they are also happy to welcome a new member into the Rentarou family with such cheerfulness and excitement, because they're also happy to see another person fall in love with Rentarou and also get to have fun with this new person as well, and also find moments and charms to them where they can bond with each other, right? And all of these girls are connected as well through Rentarou, and even so much more, right? So much more. If you know, you know. What's more, what I really love and appreciate about this whole gesture, right, of Rentarou sweating and doing his whole asking permission bit, is that Rentarou doesn't brag about it, right? Or introduce this new girl in a sort of boastful manner, right? Like, hey guys, check out this new chick that I've met, get along with her, she's gonna be my new girlfriend, that sort of deal. No. He doesn't, he doesn't go out of his way to display, his charm in such a prideful manner, right? Instead, he really shows the utmost respect and, as I've mentioned, consideration to them by asking permission to the Rentarou family first, right? To the girlfriends first, because this also shows how the Rentarou family and Rentarou in general is really open-minded about a lot of situations and about the circumstances that they are in. Being in this sort of relationship definitely has its challenges, right? But they overcome it together, family, right? The bonds that each and every one of these people have, right, with one another is so good. Rentarou really understands as well the position that he is in, and he is also very transparent in communicating with his partners about a lot of the things and situations that would happen, right? And that is the thing. And that was also sort of mentioned in the very first chapter as well, right? And to sort of paraphrase or paint a picture, right? Instead of secretly dating, each and every one of them behind their back, Rentarou openly asks all of them to date him all at once, right? With all of them together, right? He, in that very moment, it really describes, or shows rather, on how Rentarou is a person who is genuinely honest and is genuinely a good person who really wants to be transparent with the people around him, right? He doesn't want to hold or have any secrets, but rather he wants to face this sort of challenge or this sort of situation rather very openly and very genuinely, and he knew that if this was the way to go about it, then he really will make it through the end, giving it his all. There is a strong level of trust, right, that goes between Rentarou and his girlfriends. It really shows as well how strong their commitments are, right, in being with one another, right, especially in keeping his promise and genuinely loving all of them, right, spending time with each and every one of them. These sorts of moments throughout the chapter, throughout this journey, it really strengthens their bonds, right, the Rentarou family have with one another. The girlfriends would also figure out how to welcome the new girl into the family, right, trying to understand her quirks as well, getting along with her, and also finding a way, right, to make it work harmoniously, right, or to make it really synergize so well. And as we've also learned from Shizuka's introduction chapter, as she was introduced to Hakori and Karane, there is no hierarchy of the girlfriends, right? There's no status, so to speak, right, of like who because this girlfriend was the earlier girlfriend, first generation girlfriend, she gets treated more respect. No, that's not the case at all, because it has been shown by Rentarou that they are all equal lovers, right? And as I've even talked about in a previous video before, Hakori and Karane, Shizuka all sorted out this sort of conflict, that all of them really are equal lovers who love Rentarou with all their heart, right? Who really, 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 really love Rentarou as much as, they also do love one another, right? And isn't that the beauty of it? Even as Rentarou meets new girlfriends, he always stays open, true, and honest, not only with himself or to his new partner, but to each and every one of his partner's girlfriends, his family as well. With that being said, thank you for listening, family, and take care.